Is the human officiating the weird hand, or is the bird?
No, it's me.
Nice. I want to get ordained and marry people.
It doesn't really cost anything except like the $30 entry fee, and then after that, you're like,
that's pretty steep.
That's how they get you.
For my blood.
Is it a lifetime certification, or do you have to like get CEUs and things like that over the?
No. It's a lifetime.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can do this forever now.
Your spiritual fortude once, they don't need you to.
I would want you to keep paying into that though. I'd be like, you know what? And then you need to get our next bonus level.
Ooh,
you got to make sure you have your CPR training.
It's a subscription model. That's devious.
You guys want to talk horror movies?
Must we?
I suppose so. Yeah.
Right. Let's do this. Hey everybody, it's Aaron Christensen with Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and this is Streaming and Screaming, where we talk about horror movies that are streaming online right now. Say hello to my two co-hosts, Chad the Bird.
Sup?
And Lucy Ball.
Hey, how you doing? How's it going? What's up?
And we are going to be chatting about, we're doing the way back hard this time. We're hitting Alligator from 1980.
Yup.
We're hitting Razorback from 1984. And then we zoom forward into Zoombies from 2016.
All animals, all the time. Finally, something I can relate to in a horror film.
Totally. We came up with a theme like in the moment last show. And this is the theme we came up with. We actually named these three movies in the middle of the show.
Like just off the cuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd never seen one of them, but you have to stay tuned to find out which one.
I'd mentioned that Louis Teague, who was on the crew for Death Race 2000, that he had directed Cujo and Alligator. And
right.
Lucy said you'd never seen Alligator.
Nope.
And so we must needs remedy that. And then it came up that somebody hadn't seen another movie. And then it came up that somebody hadn't seen another movie. And so here we are watching all three of those movies and talking about them. And
that's a glimpse behind the curtain.
Exactly.
Spoiler alert for the show you're watching
episode
now.
10, and you could know all of that as well. Do we have any preference as to which one we start with?
Oh, I say roll the dice.
In that case, we're going alphabetically because we're going A to Z.
Nice.
So let's go with Alligator from 1980, directed by Louis Teague and written by John Sayles. That name would have meant a lot more, say, 20 years ago. Because he was like the indie king. And I don't know that John Sayles is as big a name these days, but go back and check your IMDb, folks. John Sayles.
If you could rattle a couple of John Sayles, like you've probably seen this one. What do you got?
Give us the goods, but just a taste.
Lone Star.
Whoa.
Matewan. The Brother from Another Planet.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. I've seen that.
He's done a ton of stuff. And he's really a Return of the Secaucus 7, which is kind of like The Big Chill before The Big Chill.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
This is just as a writer or as a director?
This is as a director. He did the script for Alligator in order to get the money to do his first film, The Return of the Secaucus 7.
Nice.
And this is a Corman production as well. And this is also the second Jaws ripoff he'd done for Corman because he also wrote the script for Piranha.
Oh, that track.
Man.
Okay.
Piranha's a great movie, though.
So he did Piranha, and then he did this one, and then he went off and made his own movies and became kind of an indie darling.
I don't know what you're talking about, Alligator being a ripoff of Jaws. I didn't see any similarities at all.
I honestly, I get the feeling that Chad is using the ancient art of sarcasm. I'm not super.
I learned that this week, but I've been practicing. I
don't think it is very Jaws, apart from the investigation and the city officials who don't. Okay, maybe it is a little bit more like Jaws.
The big festivity.
Yeah, the fact that they get an old dude who's really into hunting and he's too big for himself. And he's got a big gun. He ends up getting his ass beat. That kind of stuff. Spoilers for Alligator and Jaws.
Oh, right, everybody. We're talking spoilers.
I didn't catch that watching the film, but as I walked myself through the defense, I'm like, no, wait. Yeah, it's Jaws.
Objection.
Actually,
we're leading the witness. I did notice at one point there, during the scene, the chase in the river. I know that's way ahead in the game, but there is a scene where the alligator is creeping up on a dude's kicking in the water, and the music is literally, it's instead of it being like da dum da dum, it's more like da da dum da da dum da da dum. It's very Vanilla Ice under pressure.
Yeah. Hey, Lucy, if this being your first viewing, what did you think?
I thought it was a whole lot of fun. I appreciate that it was like a grizzled cop that you would get out of a box of grizzled cops. I thought that was very fun. The thing I like really enjoyed about this was like it's obviously a pretty cheap film and all, but there was a lot of stuff with the gator that looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like you can totally tell when it's a puppet or whatever, but in the things where it seems as though they're using a real alligator on a miniature set, that looked great. It was
really did.
So cool.
Same. I was really impressed. And I actually thought the scenes with the alligator like munching on and crunching on humans and just like gulping them down was surprisingly effective.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaping all the way forward to the climax, that wedding melee is like 5 minutes of glory.
Yeah, it's iconic, I think.
If I can drop a spoiler, give me a sign. Anyway,
I just gave you a banner here.
Oh,
there it is.
Sign.
It's the sign.
Yeah. So the sort of general conceit of the film is there's a sketchy research facility that's doing something to make animals big. Don't think about it too much. And they're paying people off so as they don't ask questions, and they're trying to keep it real hush hush like. And their weird chemical spills have gotten into the sewer, and you get the old urban myth of somebody buys a baby alligator and flushes it down the toilet, and then it becomes gigantic in the sewer.
The Chicago sewer.
The Chicago sewer. You guys be picking a lot of Chicago films.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this a Chicago movie. They want to say it is, but
it's a Chicago movie.
There's a lot of it where I'm like, I don't remember us having an open aqueduct that you could just like scream through.
But it would be a lot cooler if you did,
but
right?
It would be a lot cooler if we did.
So the dude who runs this sketchy research company is at this swanky dank wedding, and he's like in the back of a luxury car with a driver, and the alligator like comes out and starts raising hell all over the place, and he ends up like crushing the car with his enormous tail. Yep. And I thought it was very cool to have that CEO guy like crushed to death in a sign of wealth and excess. I thought that was
right.
Neat.
The subtlety was not lost on me.
Oh, yeah, it's about as subtle as a brick in your back, but it was cool.
It's as subtle as an alligator can be.
Yeah, that's Robert Forster that's playing our cop.
My guy, Jackie Brown. That's my
Jackie
favorite
Brown, exactly.
moment.
He was also in Medium Cool, which is set during the Chicago Democratic Convention.
National Convention.
These were going nuts. So there's a nice Chicago connection, but I love how he is just such a like everyman, and he's constantly making fun of his receding hairline. Yeah. And that was all Robert Forster. Like he kept improvising those things, and John Sayles like, I love it. And he kept putting more and more of that stuff in there. I just think he's terrific. I think he's just such a great presence throughout this movie. He just really grounds it. And if you're going to have a ridiculous movie, about an alligator running around in the sewers, you need somebody who's going to ground it, and Robert Forster does the job.
And he does it with a pretty slick Midwestern accent, which made me really happy because you get this in a lot of Chicago movies where everybody sounds like they're from New York. Yeah. Like everybody's like, "Oh, what are you doing, Tommy?" And you're like, you're from Evanston, huh?" But in this one, he had the whole like, "Oh God, you guys," and that was that one woman with the kid when the alligators wreaking havoc on the street. And I was like, "Oh, here comes the New York accent." And she was like, "Tammy, put down the hammer." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
You see, I'm on the phone. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was as Chicago as it got. Other than that, not at all.
I have an ignorant question I'd like to ask.
Question on the floor.
I've often heard the phrase, "Does a bear shit in the woods? Does the Pope shit in the woods?" I've never heard, "Is the Pope Polish?" Was there a Polish Pope?
That was the phrase is supposed to be, is the Pope Polish? Does a bear shit in the woods? And then they messed it up a couple of times saying, "Does the Pope shit in the woods?"
Well,
which is an amalgamation. It's a portmanteau of them, if you will.
Yes. The answer is yes. There was a Polish Pope.
Oh,
not anymore. He's from Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
And he skateboards.
He does.
Cool Pope.
And he's a Sox fan, which is really interesting and divisive.
We don't have to get into the other divisive stuff.
He's not, in fact, in this movie, though. Don't get it twisted.
I mean, the second you mention the fact that he's the Pope, he's inherently divisive.
Yeah. Oh man.
But anyway, yeah, I also love the scenes where like the alligator like breaks up through the sidewalk.
Awesome.
So good.
I
Did
love
not
it.
expect that at
The
all.
one where he's in the swimming pool and the kids like walking the plank.
Legit frightening, that scene.
That was freaky. I love any time that they don't pull punches and the deaths of the younglings are not off the table. I think that's a lot of fun, and it's capital B trademark brave. So I appreciated seeing that in there.
I mean, what they're doing is they're trying to make these animals big so that they can have like bigger cows, so that they can, solve world hunger
That's
or
what
whatever.
it was.
But as they keep,
Except they had a schnauzer that was the size of a Great Dane.
Yeah,
that's the thing,
they were doing lots of opsos. They were doing like domestic dogs, but that guy had that one throwaway line where he's like, "People need to eat. We're making animals bigger." I was like, "Oh, that's what you're doing."
But yeah, as they keep having their failures, they end up in the sewer because you got to ditch them, and that's where our little baby alligator is munching.
Roman?
And the little girl who gets the little alligator and gets it flushed down the toilet, she becomes a giant reptologist.
Yeah.
Herpetologist.
She's not size-wise giant. She's giant in her field.
Just giant
Be a lot-
brain.
Be a lot cooler.
It'd be a lot cooler if she
though.
was.
Yeah.
But not out there.
If she just hang out with that scientist, they could make her big as well.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. And here's a note to any of you, fledgling entrepreneurs who may start a creepy, sketchy research facility.
yeah.
Invest in a crematorium.
Tell him.
Okay.
Tell him.
Right.
Well, okay, but I also
learn the
saw Return of
evidence.
the Living Dead, and when they burnt that, it made
That's
things
true.
way
That
worse.
didn't work out so well.
Okay, maybe a flash fryer. Just don't dump them in the sewer. That's a bad idea.
Don't put your dog in a flash fryer, but definitely burn them after you're done with them.
Unless put your dog in the flash fryer if you just gave him a bath and you need to dry him off real fast.
quick. It works great every time.
Now, Lucy, you knew about this movie, right? Before.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on documentaries and heard it talked about. It's been in my purview, but I've never like sat down and watched it.
But
I've seen it on a bunch of like best of lists and like fun.
Wait, you
like-
hadn't seen it either, Chad?
No, I hadn't seen it either.
Oh, this is wonderful. Okay,
I
good.
haven't seen any of these movies. That was the big reveal. This is my first time for all three of
Oh
them.
my God, that's wonderful. Yeah, no, this is one that I absolutely grew up. And that scene of the kid walking the plank and the alligator being in the pool, they showed that as a trailer on TV.
Nice.
Like,
I mean,
No
it's kind of
way.
one of the money shots of the
you're
movie.
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, what? You're gonna like murder a kid in a
Oh.
like? And swimming pools were
Yeah.
off limits for. I remember that entire summer.
My God, that movie! Like none of the movies we watched this time pulled any punches. There's like kids getting eaten, dog murder. I was like, okay, here
People
we
you
go.
think who were gonna be the main character murder.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But we also have like our cop Robert Forster. His boss is Michael Vigazzo,
Right,
who from the Godfather
Godfather.
movies.
He's the
And
guy
he
that has
was
that great
awesome.
line about in the Godfather where he's like, Michael, the kid told me this is a can of peas, and it's not a can of peas. It's a Ritz cracker with chopped liver on it. That's my favorite line from the Godfather.
Okay, I've never seen The Godfather, but that alone is really good.
He
Yeah,
goes
very
off for an
funny.
hour at the wedding about how it's like, this guy's trying to convince me that it's appetizers. It's like, bullshit. It's a Ritz cracker with chopped liver on it.
And he's
I'll
got
take a Ritz cracker with
incredible,
chopped liver.
incredible eyebrows. Like
Yeah.
his eyebrows deserved a
Legendary.
credit all their own.
And he was a great, like, the mayor's been busting my balls police chief. He was
Quintessential
awesome.
cop boss.
Yeah, he was great.
He's the
And-
guy Anthony LaPaglia wants to be his boss, and so I married an axe murderer.
Nice.
We also have Henry Silva as our
Yeah.
great white hunter.
Crazy.
Great. Sorry, I know that's the archetype, but that's a very funny sentence.
The like he's in a James Bond movie, isn't he? Isn't Harry Silva in a James Bond one?
Oh man, I don't know.
I
if
can
he's
Google that myself. You
I don't
continue.
know if he's
Talk
in a
amongst
James Bond
yourselves.
movie, but
Tappity,
he
tappity.
plays bad guys like
Tappity,
all the
tappity.
time, and he is in the Manchurian Candidate.
That's
I'm
what
pretty
I was
sure.
thinking of. Maybe is that.
Oh.
Tappity,
Is that the
tappity.
one with Antonio Banderas?
No, The Manchurian Candidate is with Frank Sinatra and Angela Lansbury. Actually,
Then what am I fucking thinking of?
I don't know, but I
do
want to
not
see
know.
that. I want to see Antonio Banderas in the Manchurian
And
Candidate.
Am I thinking of the mariachi?
You're thinking of El
you're thinking El
Mariachi.
Mariachi? Okay,
El
yeah,
mariachi. Yeah,
that's not that.
Completely different spots in the countries, different lands.
Man,
But absolutely
holy
would
shit.
watch an El Mariachi Manchurian
man,
the
the
Mariachi
El
Manchurian Candidate.
Oh man, I'm in.
So wait,
I'm in
Manchurian
pretty-
Candidate's like the MK Ultra movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Oh,
correct.
okay. Now I'm on track.
Oh my
now.
god, I want to see the El Mariachi candidate.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm all in on this.
And they also remade it with Denzel Washington,
Not a
And-
bad remake.
which is
actually.
a pretty decent remake. Meryl Streep plays the Angela Lansbury part, and Liev Schreiber.
Leave Schreiber.
Live.
I'm looking it up, and I don't think he was. I know he's in Buck Rogers though.
He's been a ton. I mean, Henry Silva is like the quintessential like low budget bad guy. He's been in so many awesome things, and he's always
Dude
awesome.
was in Chained Heat and Megaforce.
I believe that.
These are all wonderful film titles, by the way. You said Buck Rogers, and I immediately went to Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. What's wrong
Interesting
with me?
thing to note about that: Duck Dodgers inspired the design of the International Space Station, not Buck Rogers.
Is that true?
It was. It's what I was told. You humans make shit up all the time.
Daffy Duck stays winning though, so I'll
It's
believe
true.
it.
Dude was also in the movie I was thinking of that I knew Henry Silva from was Dick Tracy, because
Oh, sure.
he's like one of the
Yeah,
mobsters
yeah.
in Dick Tracy.
I think he's also in that once more a Chicago movie, Code of Silence. I think he's. the
Oh
bad
wow,
guy
was he really? Oh
with
okay. I
Chuck
can keep
Norris.
googling
check
this as we
check
go.
that. Make sure I'm right about that.
Okay, I know he was in Ghost Dog. I knew that.
Jamie, will you look that up, please?
Gary, can you bring me IMDb, please?
Where are all the interns?
Where are my interns?
Oh man,
He was in Sharky's Machine. He was in
Code of Silence.
I haven't found Code. He's in the
1985.
Manhunter.
1985. He's in Manhunter.
Yeah, he was in the Manhunter. No, the Manhunt. No, he was in Manhunter.
Whoa, I'm loving this. Yes, no, yes.
The
This
difference
is why we
between
need
Manhunter
interns.
and the Manhunter.
Hey,
That's
it's
what I'm
legally
saying.
distinct. That's all
True.
that matters. It's like how in the early years, like with Glenn Danzig, they were the Misfits.
The
and then-
Misfits.
And then when they broke up and Jerry only started doing it, it was just
Misfits.
Yeah.
Misfits. Tell your people just to call us Misfits. It's not the Misfits.
We went through like 4 singers, and the only one,
Misfits.
the only other one who was good turned out to be a Proud Boy.
True.
I
Damn
hate
it.
that song.
Damn it.
Glenn Danzig has a signed copy of Satan's Hollow, the arcade cabinet at Logan Arcade, and every time they come through for Riot Fest, he takes it out and puts it in his trailer in Douglas Park.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I like to think he goes in there and goes, Logan Arcade, I need my cabinet.
They have an animatronic dog band at Logan Arcade called the Biscuits, and they are a Misfits cover band.
No.
Yup.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yup. That is
Oh, man.
true. I seen it.
Instead of I want your skulls, is it just generally bones?
Oh, it's mother. Tell your puppies not to rock my way, or something like that. Oh, it's so good.
Question about Alligator.
The
I'm
movie.
I'm guessing you guys have seen Lake Placid.
Oh,
Yup.
yeah, that's one of the first scary movies I ever saw. Yeah.
So we wouldn't have Lake Placid if we didn't have Alligator.
Nope.
Ruined swimming in lakes for me for like a solid year and a half of my early childhood or whatever.
And I never watched the other Lake Placid sequels.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine.
They're all right.
I don't think you need to. Yeah.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
I did do a little extra credit. And I watched Alligator 2: The Mutation from 1991.
Oh, you went
How
for
was
it?
it? 'Cause
Mine
I
started,
thought
and I was
about
like,
it.
I have too much to do.
Yeah. You do have too much to do. Everybody, you have too much to do
Too much
to
to
watch.
do. You don't need to do it.
However,
Was it
is
interesting at least?
it's fine, but it has an amazing cast. It has, like Steve Railsback and Richard Lynch and D. Wallace Stone and Joseph Bologna.
Joseph Maloney?
Yep.
Joey Ballones?
Joey
Wow.
Balogna's in it. And it's just kind of, it's not even bad enough to be good. It's just kind of,
one of those.
it's just
yeah.
kind of meh.
The opening music's pretty good. That's all I saw because that started up on my Amazon Prime. Also, the ending music for Alligator is really smooth. It's a smooth jam.
And I don't remember who did the music for Alligator.
It's very of its time. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
You know what I kept thinking the whole movie? I was like, when is Robert Forster gonna get a love interest? He has been shirtless for an hour and 10 minutes.
Well,
and then she shows up and I was like, there it is.
There she goes.
There we go.
And she's really fun.
She is fun. She's a great character.
Yeah. Robin Riker, she doesn't she's not just a rollover female character. Like, she has some spirit. She walks away when he treats her like garbage. I like her.
Yeah, she's not a rollover female character until she invites him up to the bedroom, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that scene made me laugh so hard. Where it's like, let's get you into the shower. And I'm like, here we go.
What did she say to him? She's like, well, what do you do? What does anybody want?
What does anybody do?
Yeah.
I like when he's mad and they're at the diner and she's like, I'm just checking in on you or whatever. And he's like, could you do that somewhere else, please? And I was like, oh, he's having a rough day.
Don't be so quick to understand me.
Yeah, that's what it was. Don't be so quick to understand me.
What's that King of the Hill bit? Are you attempting to know me?
So good.
But yeah, I really like Alligator. I think it's one of the better, kind of Jaws inspired. I won't say it's a Jaws ripoff, but it's certainly, like a fun animals attack movie. Yeah. And I think because the characters are so strong and the animal attack scenes are really good as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a nice
gnarly. Oh man, when that given our current climate, I can't say what I want to say, but because I was going to say that douchebag journalist, but but journalists are getting it too bad. Now.
I agree.
So we got to stick up for the journalists.
I was like, where is this going? And what?
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to follow.
I had to qualify that because it could have been really bad, but
not all journalists.
Yeah, exactly. But this particular dickhead journalist, when he goes down into sewer and he gets
give us a little preamble here, because this guy is like, the reason why he's a jerk is because
he's cooking handsome cop's balls because like he got into some shit with his partner
in St. Louis.
In St. Louis. And
I was confused by that. I was like, why are we not in St. Louis?
Because he had to get away. We're not in Chicago. Man. He had to get away, man. But there was like a horrible shootout. It led to one of his partners getting got. And there's this journalist who's just like dragging him through the mud about it and being like, oh, isn't it curious how like death and horrible fortune follow this police officer everywhere? Which in today's day and age, write that article. Yeah. In honestly, the context of this
film, a little concerned if I was his partner. I'd be like, dude, you do not have a good track record. I know it's not your fault, but you definitely have a stink on you.
I think you're like kind of jinxed.
Yeah, a little bit.
But in the context of this film, the journalist is a total D-bag. And he decides that like, oh, I'm going to go check out the sewer and see if I can find evidence of this cop's misdoing. And he does a bunch of stupid shit. Like he finds a shrine where people have been probably sleeping. And he like positions the license plate to make it look more photogenic or whatever. But he ends up running dick first into our alligator.
And literally dick first. Spoiler for Alligator.
And he gets like absolutely chomped on, and he gets a lot of really cool photos of it.
Yes,
it's true. And that is legit freaky when they show the photos. I was like,
it's
bad. Now you believe me. Also, I have a fun fact for you. The person who did the music, he's credited as Craig Hundley, but his real name is Craig Huxley. Okay. He invented a musical instrument, which is an aluminum refinement of the blaster beam, which is a pew, 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 pew kind of sound. In the 70s. It was patented in 1984 and used on the soundtrack to Star Trek The Motion Picture and 10 Cloverfield Lane.
What?
Nice. That's pretty cool.
I thought so too.
Craig Huxley, I feel like I know that name. He's done some stuff, I think.
He was an actor. He was Captain Kirk's nephew, and he was on The Flying Nun, Kung Fu, and Bewitched.
No way.
Yeah, okay. And then he had an album called Arrival of a Young Giant. It's like a bunch of jazz records and stuff.
Interesting. Cool. So when you say he invented the instrument, is it actually like a new instrument or is it a theremin with extra steps?
The blaster, the blaster beam is an electric. It's like a giant beam, and you spank it, and it makes like a beep 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 kind of sound.
Sort of like when they did the blaster sounds in Star Wars, and they were
It's
just like
it's
smacking
kind of
power lines.
it's like that.
Oh,
But
okay,
he made
got
an
it.
aluminum version of it, so it's
Oh,
technically
gosh.
kind of just an aluminum version of the thing, but it's
Oh,
still
so
a new instrument.
He's got an aluminium one in his garage.
In his garage,
Yeah.
at his flat, which he
Oh,
takes a
wow.
lift to, and has bickies,
Oh, does he have jammy dodges? I love
jammy dodgies, and mashy peas. Man, I'm hungry.
Yeah. You got me. I'm ready. I need to go find the pub.
Got the
I'm gonna go
nibbles.
get some fishy chips right now.
Oh man,
With
in
the vinegar
Seattle,
on 'em.
I ate so many
Mm.
fish and chips. It's stupid.
Well, I actually had an all-you-can-eat sushi buffet, and
Was it Tokoro? Was it Sushi Tokoro?
it was
Yeah, it's my
man.
favorite sushi
It
place
was
in
so
Chicago.
good. It was so good. 7 rolls, and
Nice.
you know,
Did they give you the little boat? You
they
kids
did.
at home
They
who've
did.
never been to Chicago don't know what we're talking
maybe
about.
I'll slip a photo in
Hey,
right
wait.
here.
We got sushi boats around here.
Oh, I guess that's true. I don't know why I thought that was exclusively
I've
Chicago.
eaten hella sushi boats. Come on.
That's true. We invented sushi, Chicago.
That's
Some
right.
people don't
Yeah,
know
that's
that.
what I heard. Yeah.
A lot of people
Put like lettuce and stuff on it, and
Yeah.
Relish.
Diced tomatoes and ketchup.
Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Don't put ketchup on your sushi, though.
no, please. Come
Or
on,
maybe do. Who gives
don't
a
be
fuck?
gauche.
I don't know.
Uh,
The world's ending. Put ketchup on your damn sushi. I don't care.
Any other words on Alligator before we zip down?
Watch
to
it if you're
Mulcahy?
in the mood for just like you don't want to think about like a cop drama. You just want like a cop drama on that happens to also have a giant alligator that eats people. This is your movie because it's just like
or if you just
paint
like
by
big
numbers.
alligators.
Yeah, if you love alligators, you're gonna love Alligator.
Yep. Yep. And I would
It
say
is as advertised.
that if you do a quick search on YouTube, you will find the alligator melee scene, and that will sell you on
It's
it. 'Cause
fantastic.
It's just 5 minutes of bliss. I sat my wife down. I'm like, watch this. And she was like, oh, what?
The scene when the wedding massacre is happening, and then like you can tell because if you just look in the background that the alligator's not moving, it's just the guy in his mouth moving.
Yep.
Was like warmed my heart. I was like, this is happiness because like
Well,
that set was happening, man, and that dude was just like, ah, we still rolling?
I'm an
Ah!
alligator.
It's so good. But to be honest though, there are actual like great kills in this movie.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
And
there are.
legit freaky moments that I was not expecting.
And really
It's
there are
grimy. It's
dialogue.
fun. It's kind of got like the look of Chud a little bit. Like it's
Yeah.
just like a
Yeah,
greasy
yeah.
street movie.
And it's got a lot of really cool alligator puppet body segments.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of scenes in the sewer where the gator hang on, where do I?
Use your camera.
Yeah.
It it pokes its head just into the frame from behind the corner, and it's awesome. It's great.
And the finale is truly remarkable.
Truly is.
love
Now,
it.
I read this on IMDb and I was going to bring it up at the end because I cannot
lying.
confirm this.
Okay.
But according to the thing that I was reading, a very young Bryan Cranston worked in the special effects department.
I read that as well.
So I don't know, and I can't find any confirmation of it. It's not in his credits, but he is credited in some form with being in the special effects department, making the alligator guts for the end of the movie.
That's awesome. I want to believe that. So it
Yeah, let's make it's true. It's true.
That's
the
how
world we're
facts
living in
work
anyway.
now. So yeah, that's fine.
Bryan Cranston actually was the alligator.
Well,
people
that's
don't
what
know.
I read. Yeah, that's
It's
what I
object
read.
work. You know.
Let me just enter my entry into IMDb,
Yeah,
and there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, it's not going to get peer reviewed or nothing. It wasn't even a puppet. He didn't even put on any makeup. He's just that good.
He's just
Yeah.
that good.
That's how good he is.
He's real method with it, you know.
He just melts into the role.
Yeah,
Let
he
us-
really sinks his teeth into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Oh
stop.
boy, okay.
Let us zip from Chicago down
Well,
to
you
the
have to say
outback.
see you later if we're leaving Alligator.
Nah,
Oh.
nice. After a while, crocodile.
Also Crocodile. Not a bad one. All right, moving on.
Yes. Razorback.
Yeah!
This was one
yeah!
year. Now, I think, Chad, you had said you've been wanting to see this.
Wanting to see this for a long time.
And what?
Oh my God, I had a blast. It's also hardcore. I did not expect it
It's
to
like
go
a real movie.
hard as it did. Like we begin with baby murder, and I was like, damn. And it gets worse. Everything you're not supposed to do in movies, they kind of do in this movie.
Yep.
And yet,
man, I felt like I could smell all of those
all of it.
greasy, shiftless bogans through the whole
Yup.
goddamn film.
Everything smelled like dirt and gasoline. It's a dirty movie.
And VB, you know, like yeah, or Foster's, I guess.
It is a true Ozploitation classic, and I remember hearing about it. They had this on the shelves at the video stores. Great poster art for this one, and I love this giant animatronic.
Oh, it's
boar.
so good.
No,
Like,
it's badass.
it's
Yeah,
so
Pumbaa's going hard.
It's gross and big and legit scary, and there's a lot of shots of its mouth. And I was like, yeah, I hate that. We birds get nervous about being eaten a lot, so this one really triggered me a lot in many ways.
How did you feel about that scene in The Lion King when all the birds are in like the alligator mouth and they're singing for
You know, I'm just happy they have a job because I know what they're doing. And I'm like, hey, man, get your money, but like get in, get out. You know, don't make it a lifer thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to answer your question.
That's
Yeah, you should have just left me on whatever the
just let you go.
version of Red is.
Just let you roll. Go online, Google it.
Now, why had you been wanting to see this for forever, Chad?
So in one of the many documentaries that I see on Shudder, they mention this movie. I think it was Into Search for Darkness. I think that's the one that I saw it on. And in the middle of it, they talk about how influential in Australia this horror movie is. This is like a midnight movie classic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen a lot of other countries' midnight movies because like we usually do that over in the States most of the time. And like this one was like, this is a true grindhouse Aussie like classic. And I just never got around to checking it out. And I'm so glad that we did because like, it was everything I wanted it to be.
Well, and
a little more.
More in places
really
I wasn't expecting.
It really surprised me in a lot of ways. Yeah,
it's really pretty. It's really well shot. It feels legit.
Russell Mulcahy, who directed it, he got his background in music videos, and I think
a ton of music videos.
Like there's a great look to this movie. Like there's just tons of like completely. Like, where is that light coming from? I don't know, but it looks really cool.
He also directed Highlander. Just putting it out there.
Yes, he did.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Just in case you was curious, he definitely directed Highlander.
And he also directed Highlander 2.
And Highlander. I was going to say my follow up to that was, however,
sorry, I ruined your joke.
He did direct Highlander 2. The Quickening.
The Quickening. But
he also directed Resident Evil Extinction, which isn't as bad as you think it is.
No, that's the third one.
I've seen that one.
I like that one. That's the third one that's set in the desert.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also directed It's a Kind of Magic, which is my favorite Queen song. The song It's a Kind of Magic, the music video for that was directed by Russell Mulcahy.
As well as like a ton of like Duran Duran and like Elton John, Billy Joel.
Absolutely has a look of the 80s.
He directed Video Killed the Radio Star.
I was going to bring that up.
The first music video on MTV.
And I text you two goons about this as I watched the movie, but the movie looks like a music video.
It really does.
In the best way. There's so many transitions that are like awesome and really artful, but they don't make sense in the context of like a normal narrative film.
Right.
Like there's whole transitions that have nothing to do with anything where it's like acid traces on everything. Like they got the movement thing going on, or there's like weird wipes and fades. It's super cool.
I was sold when house gets set on fire in the very beginning and old man just like screaming into the night just with rage.
Talking about a cold open. Yeah.
God damn, we're in, huh? Okay. I guess here we go. And strap in.
Dean Semler is our cinematographer, and he shot The Road Warrior, among many other movies, including Dances with Wolves, for which he won an Oscar.
Oh, that's wild that he did Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, these people knew how to make a movie, and I think that's one of the things that really stoked me back, because it's not just some exploitation film. Like, this is a genuinely artfully made movie.
Yeah, totally. And you talk about Dances with Wolves and Road Warrior. Not only do they know how to make a movie, that guy knows how to shoot a desert.
Yeah.
and make a scene out of it. And it really shows in Razorback. It's awesome.
Also, he directed The Shadow. I want to put that out there.
like the movie about the noir radio play. The
Yeah,
Shadow?
we want just in
Oh,
case you thought
yeah.
Russell Mulcahy was one of the coolest people out there. You also did The Shadow. I just need to knock you down a peg.
That
I don't want
sounds
you to get too
that's
happy.
really cool if you ask me. I love radio noir.
I love the concept of The Shadow.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
The Alec
I haven't
Baldwin
seen the movie in
starring
a very
Oh
movie.
long
boy,
time.
it's a ride.
It's
not a
wonky.
pleasant one, but it is a ride. Russell Mulcahy also directed a bunch of episodes of Tales from the Crypt. I can't find out which ones though.
He also did Tales of the Mummy, which is not.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, not really, but you know.
I mean,
He said
it
not
exists.
really. Wow.
We should talk about what this movie's about.
Oh God, if only there was a way to know.
Yeah.
Lucy,
Maybe you should go watch the damn film. I don't know.
I'm saying the movies we picked are all as advertised.
yeah, they are.
Yeah,
This is about a giant ass razorback.
Yep. Being a boar in Australia.
Definitely not boring, but
No,
truly
no,
is.
But like giant tusks on it, like it is to boars what Jaws is to sharks. It is
Yeah.
a giant example of that species, but they don't really explain why. It just is. It's just
It
a
just
giant
exists
beast.
in the outback.
Don't worry about it. That thing eats its fucking Wheaties. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
And it
it's
tears
big,
its
it's
way
mean,
through
and it'll
houses.
kill everyone you love.
Well, let's talk about that beginning because it literally like runs through a house.
Yup.
Hell yeah, it does. It tears that motherfucker wide open.
Yup.
It runs through the house and steals a baby, runs off with it, and our poor grandfather's left behind, and everybody thinks he did it, and they all think he's crazy because he's talking about this giant boar that ran through his house, and everybody's like, "What are you talking about? Boars can't run through houses." And he spends the rest of his life like trying to chase down this giant boar. He's like, you know, kind of Captain Ahab after the whale.
And it like follows that story through a variety of other humans that are connected to him and all have the same taste for vengeance. So in the end, it's kind of like, well, who's going to take down the Razorback? Which one's it going to be?
Right. Well, and somebody alluded to this earlier, but several of those humans are posited to be the stars of this movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
then they get killed off, and you're like,
Yep.
wait, I thought you were the star of the movie, but you're dead now.
Pulled a real MacGuffin in this movie.
I
Lots
also
and
like-
lots of death.
I like that I learned that kangaroo shooter is a job description. That's pretty intense.
Well, and
I
also
guess.
that you could, I mean, that it's just straight up knowledge that you get your kangaroos and you shove them into the dog food, you know, like we have the Pet Pack Slaughterhouse. So we've got so many wonderful references. I mean, we got Jaws, we also got Texas Chainsaw, we got Road Warrior. Like it's this wonderful blender of homages, and yet it becomes its own thing as well.
It's funny you say that about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One of the things I wrote down on watching this was that opening sequence before it all like goes to hell is very Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like with the wide open field,
the like
the windmill thing.
Yeah.
Like
Hooked me.
Like, as I watched it, I was sitting there like, oh man, I love agrarian horror films, and I really do. There's just something about that like middle of fucking nowhere thing.
When it opens with that just like whoom
Yep.
sound, I was like, oh shit, I'm in.
Well, that's what I
Hooked.
mean. Like before the credits are over, you're like, oh wait, I'm watching a real movie here. This isn't just, you know, some like
It's not fun either. Like it's fun, but it's also not fun. Like it goes hard.
Yeah, they don't pull a lot of punches. There's a lot of truly despicable characters. But it's
I
also
wonder where those guys were going. I was like, well, am I supposed to like you guys? I don't
No.
like you guys.
No.
Oh yeah, Dicko. Yeah, you're totally
yeah.
supposed to love Dicko.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you guys are cool. I hope this movie's not trying to make me sympathize with you.
But
It
it's
doesn't,
really
but I thought
creepy.
for a moment.
And you say it's not fun, but at the same time, they spend a lot of time in a bar which has a camel as a permanent
It's
resident.
true. The camel kicks
So
ass.
like it's got a really wide streak, a sense of humor about it, but
Yep.
it's also mean as shit.
It's brutal.
It's goofy, and like it feels like you are a stranger in a strange land. You know, like
Oh yeah, I don't think I
Down Under.
rocked that reference, Duck.
the
Vegemite sandwich.
Oh man.
That poor, although I have to say, you mentioned the camel, like when he just like eats that beer can, I'm like,
Awesome.
wait, is that
Yup.
camel dead now?
No, that camel kicks
I
ass.
think I think they're like goats. I think they can take pretty
Just
much
eat
anything.
anything.
Just
Yeah.
grabs it and goes. I'm so
Yeah,
proud
and-
of him.
oh, I get to be like Chad. That's something I know an awful lot about as resident goat man.
You know about eating cans.
Look
Can he? Will he?
at come on.
Fear the goat.
Yeah, kiss the go-goat. I'm not going to turn this into a ghost thing, but
Well, I'm happy to be a part of it, though.
They're on the cover of the new Horror Hound magazine.
Really?
Oh, nice.
all right, Papa Slay. Okay.
There's a big interview with them. Yeah, go check it out. Just our pal Jessica Dwyer wrote that article.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, interesting.
Way to go, Jessica.
What else do we want to say about Razorback?
It's everything you want it to be. When you see, like, just look at the trailer, you're like, that's the movie you're going to get. It's big, it's loud, it's mean, it's sweaty, it's gross, it's fun, and also not fun, and also brutal.
I also like the way it illustrates American culture shock to Australia. I've
Big
always
time.
wanted to go to Australia. I think it's a really cool place. But I do feel like they're just kind of built different out there.
A little
you
bit.
know?
Everything wants to eat you. That's why I try to
And-
avoid it.
Like I think of they're doing so okay, after this one thing happens, I don't know if we're doing spoilers. After this one
Sure, we're
thing
doing spoilers.
okay, so yeah, spoiler time. You're introduced to this character who's like an animal welfare activist type, and she's like a journalist. Oh, there's lots of parallels
Yeah.
between this and Alligator, by the way. But she's like a journalist, and she like advocates for animal welfare. And she goes to Australia because there's all this talk of a dog food company like poaching kangaroos in the outback and putting them into the chow. So she goes out to get to the bottom of it and put a stop to it, God damn it. And she's set up to be our heroine from like Go. She goes out into the outback, has a terrifying encounter with Dicko and whatever that guy's name is.
I forgot his name was Dicko.
Dicko was the only name that stuck because how
That's
are
the
you
only
not
name that
gonna-
should.
Yeah. So she gets terrified by them, gets mauled by the Razorback, and then her husband has to come out to Australia to investigate her mysterious disappearance. And he tries to cozy up to Dicko and the kangaroo shooters, and they take him out on outback to go poaching. And when they shoot a kangaroo, but don't fully finish the job because it like spoils the meat or something.
Which is wrong, actually.
Yeah, that's not how that works at all. But for the conceit of the movie, that's what they say. I think it's just because they're sadistic.
As I say, it's
Yeah,
the
they're
opposite,
not
actually.
likable
Yeah.
dudes.
You don't want adrenaline in your meat. Is how,
Yeah, you want to do it quick. Our American husband guy gets all sick and like throws up into the Hummer there, and instead of being like I feel like it's a reasonable response if somebody pukes on you, especially while you're working, to be like, bro, what the hell? You couldn't point over the thing. And instead of saying any of that, our pal Dicko goes, oh, if you needed a bath, you could have just said so.
and then they leave him out in the outback, and we have
fucking outback.
Yup.
To die.
Right. And then it gets like boy and his dog. It gets like real trippy.
Yes.
Really trippy in that sequence. Yeah. That's
Again,
where the
another music
creatures
video
come
shit.
in. Yeah.
I
Fun
love the-
story. The guy who did the music, Iva Davies,
Yes.
is the lead singer of Ice House.
That's right.
Oh, cool name too.
And Russell Mulcahy directed most of their videos.
Oh, synergy.
Iva Davies also did the music for Master and Commander, which is a movie I love.
Right.
Very much.
Which has a great score, by the way.
It
It's
truly does.
Yeah, right.
Coincidentally, Master and Commander is my BDSM name. Anyway, moving on.
That's my safe word.
Yeah,
Mine
yeah.
is Kangaroo
That's okay.
Shooter.
Kangaroo. I think I met that guy at a furry convention once. Man,
But yes, we have this giant boar, this practical effects boar that is truly awesome. Like, I mean, they're
Badass.
puppeting that thing around, and similar to Jaws, you know, they try to kind of like keep it off camera, but they'll show it in like long shots. But then they also just get close up. You just see the big mouth going up and down. I love when people are working around practical effects, but also like not afraid to put their practical effects in the camera when
make us see the work you did. You know, it's not just in the shadows. The relic. This one you actually get to see everything,
which is so weird.
Would like
Stan Winston like did the relic, and I'm like, of course it's a good monster. Why aren't you putting that thing like front and center? Also a Chicago movie.
well, because I
Relic.
think you'll
more Chicago than Alligator, to be honest.
I think you'll find that sometimes the things you don't see are scarier than the things you do.
Who says that? I don't believe that. No, I actually, you know what? I want to double down on that because I hear that all the time. Like you just hear that, like, you know, oh, the things that happen in your mind are so much scarier than the things you actually see. I'm like, you know what? I have had many, many directors put things in front of my face that I never even conceived of. And I'm like, wrong. I do not believe you. I think what you put in front of me is scarier than what I come up with, depending on, you know, like how your brain works.
Yeah. My horror hot take is that's just a cop-out thing people say to sound smarter than everybody.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah. I totally agree.
It's like, what you don't see. Well, what the hell am I doing watching a movie then?
Yeah, what I don't see is the money you put into the goddamn film, you fucking charlatan.
I mean, and Stephen King says something like, you know, like, well, if there's a 10-foot bug in the closet, you're like, oh, well, at least it wasn't a 100-foot bug. I'm like, no. People go, holy shit, there's a 10-foot bug in the closet. That's the end of their thought process. It's like,
you know, I think there are people who are allowed to have those. Like Stephen King is a guy who's allowed to have that kind of thought.
Sure.
You've demonstrated
because
that
he
you
does.
like,
Yeah,
and you've demonstrated that you get what is scary. Like Guillermo del Toro, I would take him saying what you can imagine is scarier than what I can.
No, I would say what I can imagine. If Guillermo del Toro said what I can imagine is scarier than what you can, then I'd be like, yes,
I believe that 100% of the time.
That's why we pay for your movies, Guillermo.
Yeah, but I'm saying there are like filmmakers or people who I think have a little bit of a right to say like, oh, well, what I don't show you allows you to engage in this way. And I'll take it. But if it's just some like fucking guy in a They Live t-shirt, I don't buy it.
Yeah, agreed. So anyway, I like the fact that they show just enough of this Razorback to get the idea of what's going on here. You get the idea of how big it is. You get to watch it munching people up. Same thing with Alligator. I love the fact that we get to see friggin' Alligator munching a guy in his teeth. I love we get to watch him like pound a limo into Swiss cheese,
gargle an entire human, and then just gulp him. That was the part that got me. I was like, God, I hate that.
I would love to know how many servo motors were in that boar's head.
Yep.
You imagine that scene where dude's on the sluice getting like, he's like the giant head is right at his feet. And like in the movie, it's like, wah, wah, the music's like, but in reality, it's like,
that hydraulic sound is terrifying.
Can we talk about that finale anyway? Because like that inside the Pet Pack slaughterhouse, that's like a haunted house. There's lights and sparks everywhere. Yep. I'm like, what? I don't even know. Like, what slaughterhouse works this way?
The fucked up Australian horror film.
That's right. That's right.
And I like that they telegraphed the way it was going to go without. I don't even know how to say what I liked about it, but I liked that when the power started kicking on and the slow thing started going, you're like, oh man, either this man or this boar is getting chopped.
Going into the fucking,
and they still make it like riveting as it's happening. It was awesome.
Yep. Well, and I think you think, you know, like when he does the spear into the neck, you think, oh, that might be it.
No way.
And then that boar's like, nope. I'm not going
hard
down.
To kill a Razorback.
That's right. Especially one that's the size of a house.
Yeah, I did like that thing in the beginning when they're in court and he's like, well, you know, you can't just shoot a Razorback. They got tough skin. And the other guy's like, you can just shoot him in the stomach.
Not right now, Roy. God.
Yeah. God damn it. I know you know about
we know, dude.
Physiology for whatever.
It's a metaphor. Shut up.
It's very weird that you know this much about boars.
Part of one of the things I was excited about was having seen this again, because I love this movie, but there was this new movie on Shudder called Boar,
right?
BOAR. And so I did a little extra credit and watched that. And I got to say, It's a big love letter to Ozploitation movies. It's directed by Chris Sun or Soon, S-U-N. But the best thing about it is its giant practical monster pig. Because the rest of the movie's kind of meh, not so hot.
Mid, huh? Okay.
But oh man, like every scene with that giant boar in Boar is incredible. Like they really they spent their money on some guy like flapping these jaws up and down, giant tusks, and just and the sound design's incredible. So should you ever choose to watch and fast forward through Boar, make sure you're watching it with your headphones on.
Yeah, 90% boar. 10% boar.
Yeah, I put that one on and I got about 15 minutes in before I realized I wasn't paying any attention.
Yeah.
Well,
that kind of movie.
Well, that kind of says it, huh? And then I turned it off.
Yeah, there's a couple of fun moments and tweaks of expectations, but I cannot recommend. I can recommend Razorback wholeheartedly. In fact, we put it in hidden horror.
Yep.
Oh man!
So you can read that essay by Tom Suarez.
I got it on my bookshelf right now.
There you go.
It's in the other room.
Oh yeah, my bookshelf is in the other room, but I promise it's on there.
No, mine is as well. I was like, mine is too, but it's over there.
Any last thoughts on Razorback?
They say the scariest thing and the thing you mostly should fear in a horror film is the director. And I do believe this one proves that. I believe it was Wes Craven who said the scariest thing in my movies is me.
Oh.
And I feel like that happens in this one big time because I'm like, I don't know who he's going to kill. I don't know how they're going to die. And I don't know who's going to make it out of this. And I love that.
Yeah, it did feel in a positive way that the filmmakers were holding us hostage.
Yup.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you really don't know
forced
what's
to
going to happen.
hold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes all over. It jumps stories. You're going across the continent where a bunch of English actors are pretending to be American, which I truly loved. And then, yeah, hell yeah, across the board.
Okay, that was another question I had because I didn't bother to do the reading. Is this film actually Australian?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure if it was like an American who was like, man, Australia's cool as hell, like like a guy like me, or if it was like actually an Australian film and they're like, this is what New Yorkers are like, right?
Yeah, no,
kind of. Yeah, that whole scene where you're in America, I was like, oh, is that what we look like in the 80s? Okay, I guess that tracks.
No, this is so marinated in Outback sauce. It's brilliant and wonderful.
Dripping with Vegemite.
It's written by
I even had a jar of Vegemite on full display.
They did.
House. Yeah.
It's written by Everett DeRoche, who did.
Is he an actual cockroach?
I don't think so.
Fast Times at Outback High.
Googling. Outback Down Under. He did Link. Remember that? 86?
That's right. The orangutan. No, Link is with the killer orangutan.
Killer orangutan. He also did The Quest, which you haven't. If you haven't seen The Quest, it's like a fun.
Jean-Claude?
Not that The Quest. This is the one with Henry Thomas. It's like Bush League Goonies.
Nice,
but it's fun.
It really is bumming me out because it was remade as Nature's Grave with Jim Caviezel.
Cool.
Oh yeah,
Long Weekend. That's
Long Weekend. There it is.
And oh my God, we should see Long Weekend together.
Okay,
we should do an Ozploitation episode at some point.
Love it.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But yeah, Long Weekend is majorly messed up, and it is one of the ultimate Nature Strikes Back movies, and highly recommend. But yeah, Everett DeRoche also wrote Razorback, and he's kind of one of the staples of Ozploitation cinema.
Nice. Okay. So Long Weekend. Write it down.
Yep.
Write it down.
So after we decided on Alligator and Razorback, Lucy went. Lucy said, "Hey, you know what we should watch is Zoombies."
Zoombies. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys brought too many good movies. I had to
Zoombies. Okay, Zoombies was way better than I thought it was going to be. Zoombies was a trip.
That's like when you go to a restaurant with a D health grade and you don't get sick.
Yeah,
and you're like,
it's not that bad.
Pretty good.
I don't often go into a Long John Silver's, but I did this one time, and I got to be honest, their fish and chips not terrible.
Yeah, I do love a Long John Silver's.
If the movies we were watching were Red Lobster, Zoombies is the Long John Silver's.
I don't know that we could say Red Lobster is like, high.
It's higher than Long John Silver's.
It is. I have a confession to make. I think this is the first movie from the Asylum that I've ever seen.
They did one of the Sharknadoes, the guy that did this movie.
But it wasn't the first one, though, right?
No.
Okay, because
I think it was 2.
I only saw the first Sharknado, and as the credits came up and it said The Asylum, I went, wait, I think I'm losing my Asylum cherry right here in front of everybody.
Awesome.
Oh,
good for you.
And I have to say, I'm not sad about it.
No.
It was more fun than I expected it to be.
Yep.
It's not in anywhere near the league of Alligator Razorback.
No
it is
way.
Tons of CGI. It's zombified zoo animals going wild.
Again, as advertised.
And the CGI is like mid 2010s YouTube After Effects CGI.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like stunning at all.
But that man, the scene with the elephants had me on the fucking floor.
Yep.
Just screaming at it.
I think the killer monkeys, like the pre-credits, I was like, this is actually legit enjoyable. Like,
I love the silverback
chest bursters.
Yeah, for some reason. What the fuck was that?
Inside of the guy.
How did they get there? Is what I'm
How
more
is he still
concerned
functioning?
Yeah.
I thought that was going to come back later. Be like, okay, so the way it works is the monkeys butt you, and then you grow a monkey inside you, and then the monkey comes out. Nope, that's not what was going on at all. That monkey was
somebody was
pillow
smoking
forting
weed
in this
the
dude.
writer's room and said, "You know what would be really cool?
Yeah,
is if we did like an Alien, but with the monkey."
With a monkey.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that's totally what happened.
That's what happened.
This is set in Eden Wildlife Zoo, which is housing a bunch of endangered animals. And it starts with this awesome cold open where they're trying. What are they trying to do? What's the
welcome to the park?
One of their monkeys was like dying of some sort of illness, and the guy's like, "I'm not gonna let her die."
No,
and
isn't that the silverback? Isn't it?
About protocol, this animal must live. And I went, I'm right.
No, and that wasn't the silver. It was one of the like little gibbon type monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he was like, he was talking about how he wasn't going to let her die and all that. And then he injects her with, I don't know, MacGuffin blood.
Some MacGuffin blood.
And then boom, zombie monkey.
Yep.
I loved speaking of good CGI, the silverback, I thought the design was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like with its clouded eyes. I thought that was pretty creepy.
I like the lions.
I thought the lions were amazing.
Monkeys, giraffes, elephants,
zombie giraffes. Yeah. If you ever wanted to see a zombie koala almost eat a kid,
and get beaten to death with a baseball bat, hell yeah,
by a child having a tea party.
Yep.
And then what did she say? I don't want to play.
I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play with my animals anymore.
Oh man,
that kid rules.
And we had like a Vera Farmiga like lookalike. Our doctor who's like running the joint. I was genuinely entertained. Like it has a lot of good energy. It's written by Scotty Mullen and directed by Glenn R. Miller, not Glenn Miller, but Glenn R.
Like in his
not that guy.
Now here's a funny thing is that Glenn R. Miller, he has 100 credits as assistant director. So this guy has been standing in the crew for years and years and years and years, and he finally gets to make his movie, and it's Zoombies.
His dream project.
Zombies. Man, talk about always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Huh?
Well, apparently it was successful enough that they made a Zoombies too. So
they did.
I haven't.
And a video game, if you look at the IMDb.
Now, I also noticed that like the police chopper says Ontario.
Ontario. I was going to hope somebody was going to bring that up because I was like, where are we?
Ontario is a city in Southern California.
Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah.
tracks.
I fly out of the Ontario airport all the time.
Okay.
Right on.
Like,
That makes sense.
Like, what's happening right now?
Thank you for locking it down for us
Yes,
because
please.
I was confused.
No, I went to visit some family once and they were like, where did you fly out of? And I was like, Ontario. And they said, you flew to Canada to fly to North Carolina.
Yeah, I went the wrong way. I had to turn around.
Yeah. I should have taken that left in Albuquerque. You know,
We have a so the one actor that I know from other things is Ione Butler, and she's the British one.
She's the badass security
she's
guard.
like,
in the new
she's dressed like Laura Dern in the original Jurassic Park. She's
This
one of the
movie-
widows in Black
this movie
Widow.
has nothing to do with Jurassic Park.
No, not at all. Doesn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
try.
Like
don't
Jurassic
even
Park.
think about either one, you know, like it's just stop worrying about it. You keep saying it, and I just think you should stop saying it.
I every now and then when they would turn around and they would see something really cool, I was like, oh, mid Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You know that like internet video with the like shitty like accordion
The
version
recorder,
of Jurassic
yeah.
Park? That should be like at that every single time an animal walks by in Zoombies.
Oh, that's a good edit. That's a good edit.
Womp.
Well, speaking of like the low budget, okay, that makes sense that it was like with an Ontario. Does Ontario have a police chopper? I guess they might. Are they big enough?
They got it on loan.
Are they big enough to have a police chopper?
We pay enough in taxes where they probably have a
Okay, all right, fine.
police chopper.
Because like this is clearly like a low budget movie because we have all sorts of like shots of people just like wandering around and like there's voiceover going, look, let's move everybody into position. I'm not ready to be in position. Okay, well, get over there. And it's like they're just like random like footage of people just wandering around. They're not even in the park at that point.
Lots of stock footage is used to fill out some of this. But you know, it's one of those movies I like. I've got I think a lot of people do, but I've got a really big soft spot for those kind of movies that I hate the so bad it's good.
But you're gonna do it.
But yeah, but like stuff that it might not really be good, but you're gonna have a whole lot of fun watching it. It's great to put on if you got friends that like dumb shit, you know, and you're just
it's a good movie to scream at.
Yeah, totally. That's it. And I seek that out really hard. So when this one came out, it was on my radar very fast.
Well, and I think it is exactly that. It is there to have a good time. It's not trying to be scary, and yet it has like some fun, like CGI jump scares and gore. I mean, oh my God, there's that scene where like in the aviary, like the aviary lady, and they're nesting in me.
They made a nest out of that woman. That was badass.
Bring up the birds. Or I have never felt so seen in a film. I was saying, I believe the text that I sent you was, here's me watching Zoombies going, this is fun. And then at the last act of the movie going, this is the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, it's all about the aviary.
Complete with an eagle emoji at the end of
yes. Those two birds that were just spending their time pecking the window. I was like, you fucking go, guys.
Okay. Are parrots endangered?
Because
he had that parrot on his shoulder, like doing all the mimicking. I'm like,
I think that parrot is actually his life partner.
Yeah, they're married.
Okay,
that civil ceremony.
That was beautiful. I was there.
God, I felt so proud to get to walk that avian life. I was so happy to see it.
Yeah, did you feel properly represented? I bet you haven't felt this good since the birds, huh?
Honestly, everybody brings up the birds and Birdemic, and this is the first time I was actually like, no, it's Zoombies.
No, it's Zoombies.
That's what it is.
Going back to what you were saying, Lucy, like I feel like this is a deliberate B movie. It is a callback to like the 1950s where they were just cranking out creature features because they knew the kids wanted to see it. And I think it does a really good job. Like it's self-aware, but I don't think it's like winking too much at the camera.
And it's not cynical. It's not like they made a bad movie to be like, it'll be really fucking easy. Let's just make a total piece of shit and people are going to like it. It feels sincere enough.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an earnestness to it.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like they did their best with the elephants thing instead of just like going, this will be terrible. People will love it.
There was a couple of really good lighting things that they did. Like there's that scene where blonde dude gets thrown through the window into the place where they were hiding out, and it was just like sunbeams.
Yeah,
and I was like,
laughed
okay.
really hard at that scene. We're like, you got to be really fucking quiet. It was great. It was great.
Oh, dude, I loved when they're trying to sneak past the silverback, and dude just like they were like, it was one shot. It was just like they were like, we got 5 seconds, just go. We got to get this establishing shot. And dude like walks by the camera like, shh. I was like, yes.
Yeah, you can
establish
almost
the stakes.
Dun 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 dun. dun.
Oh, and Silverback is right next to them, and he just kind of goes like, well, they're not over here. I guess I'll give up.
Yeah. Oh, and then the one shot where they're hiding out behind the weird paper towers in the room, and the gorilla's hand is like pressed up against it on the shadow, and they really went for it in a lot of ways.
I'm tempted to see Zombies too. I didn't have enough time to watch it before this show.
I want to play the video game, Destroy All Zoombies or whatever.
Wait, what?
There's a video game.
Is it Wii Shovelware?
Oh, it might be. Hang on, let me find it.
This is a show in which we Google.
We'll do it for you, humans. You don't have to do it. We're doing it. You don't even have to. You can just stay with us. Keep this on in the background. Yeah, the guy who did it.
Eyes get really close to the camera.
Just letting you know where my computer is. Hang on, I'm Googling.
I love it. Oh my God. I did really, really enjoy the movie. All things. I enjoyed it as much as I remembered I did. You know?
Yeah. I was not sad that I saw it. It was funny that like I knew that we were going to be watching Razorback and Alligator. I'm like, wait, but those are like legitimately good movies.
Well, you need a little something after.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll always shit in the pot somewhere.
It's called Escape from the Zoombies, by the way, is the name of the game.
The video game?
Okay.
What platform did it release on?
That I cannot find. I feel like it's trying very hard to make it difficult for me to find that. One might say deliberately. Cowards.
Sounds like it's either a microtransaction farming phone game,
perhaps,
or like one of those late life cycle Wii games that they just sort of like shit out and let you deal with it.
You buy it for $1. On Steam,
like a collection of carnival games or whatever. Yeah.
Have you guys seen a lot of movies from the Asylum? Like, are you an Asylum fan? Okay, all right.
No, I've never even seen. I've never even seen Sharknado. I'm going to be straight up. I've never watched.
Are they the ones that? So they're the ones that did like all of the
Sharknado
movies.
They do all the mockbusters,
like this. Like, like Transmorphers.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Transmorphers. That's awesome.
There's a whole documentary, I believe, about mockbusters that is a trip. It's like I don't even know how. It's just that they're cash grabs, but then they started having fun with it, and then they became like super fun to watch. So it's like, it's like a turn and burn kind of movie. But then they were like, yeah, people love us because we're dumb and silly. So we're just going to lean into it. And there's a ton of fun ones.
When I Am Legend came out, they had one they called I Am Omega.
And if you're hanging out with people and you want something to just like walk at, it's a really good thing for that. It totally is.
And I was talking, I mean, I think when you first mentioned Zombies on the show last time, and I said Zombievers, because Zombievers, I think, is a legit good movie, and we should watch that at some point because that's streaming on Tubi, as well as Hundreds of Beavers, which
Hundreds of Beavers
is another movie I'm looking forward to seeing. But yeah, I had not seen an Asylum movie, and if they're all this much fun, I could be tempted to watch another.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Cocaine Werewolf is a blast.
It's not. I did want, but I don't think that's the Asylum though. So I think that was just Mark Polonia doing his thing.
I would love to see because, like, what is it? Full Moon features? Is that the Puppet Master people and Evil Bong and all that?
Yep.
Evil Bong, Ginger Dead Man, Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong, where I've watched all of the Evil Bong films.
Yeah,
they're all fine. Tommy Chong is in them.
Yeah, Tommy Chong, Darcy the Mail Girl. They got a lot of.
And what's her name? Eartha Kitt is the voice of the bomb.
Yeah,
right.
EB, they call her. Yeah, but I would love to see more like Full Moon pictures spring up and come around. You know, we've got enough people making like capital G good movies, right? Like, get out
go
there
on. We're listening.
Get out there and go nuts. Get a camera, get your friends, have fun.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I would say yes. Go out, make a movie, have fun making your movie, and try and make a good movie. Because you have
and
to
like
try.
like what they did with my favorite movie of 2021, The Velocipaster.
Yes.
They knew what they were doing.
Yes.
Did you see Velocipaster?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I haven't ever seen it. No.
Oh, man, it's solid.
It's a
Oh,
masterpiece.
the way you said yes, I thought you would
No,
just
no.
add it with
No,
philosophy.
I was emphatic. I was emphatically agreeing that yes, the
Oh,
Velocipaster knows exactly what it's doing and has a great time doing it.
It leans into jokes, though.
Sure, it does.
I can take
It's like a
that. Yeah,
Zucker Brothers movie.
Well, I mean, the joke is in the title. And again, Zoombies, the joke is in the title. Let's circle back around. Let's give our final thoughts on our movies tonight. What kind of star rating out of 5, let's say, would we give Alligator?
I would go 3.5 out of 5 on that one.
I'd go solid 3.75. I really
Price is
enjoyed
Right
it.
rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like either of you anymore because that's a 4.5 movie, right?
Oh, you really like that.
Okay.
I'm going to give
Love
it
what you love.
4.5. I think it is the perfect example of a B-level, Jaws-inspired monster movie from the late 70s.
I would have given it a 4 if there was more alligator.
There's not more alligator in Alligator 2, The Mutation, which I think is
Boo.
hilarious considering
Cowards.
it's already a mutation. So wait, it's Alligator more mutation? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a punchy title though. Like I said, you can't call it Alligator, the mutation of the mutation from the first mutation.
Razorback, how many stars?
5 out of 5. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
A+.
Oh,
plus.
you could
No
screw
notes.
it. I'm going 4.5 on this one. I thought it was fucking awesome.
I'm going to go 4.5 as well because I think Gregory Harrison, who plays the male lead, is wanting. I think he's the one.
That's
weak link.
why I love him.
Because I love the old guy. I
Yeah.
love the women. I love the guys who play the brothers. I love everybody. The only one I don't love is our male lead, Gregory Harrison. I just don't think he's up to the task.
Yeah, he was a little acty for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, and
I
I'm kinda
will
like-
say though, I mean, for those people that are not comfortable with any kind of assault, that is a pretty intense moment. You're not really expecting that in this movie,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah,
a little like, oh damn.
that scene is a little I was kind of chewing my nails
Yep.
It's rough.
up until it
Well,
resolved.
This is a dangerous director, and you're like,
It
how
truly
much of this am I going to have to watch?
But I understand it's not everybody's bag. I'll take being made very uncomfortable so long as it's I feel like there's a line where it's I can deal with being this uncomfortable. Don't make me like this uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well,
and I feel like this movie, I mean, it dances around it. You think it might go there.
Yeah,
It doesn't, and
what
doesn't
is
go there.
it's the threat of that it could happen. Yeah.
Right.
And then Zoombies.
I'm jump in first.
Okay,
I
dive in.
2.5. 2.5.
Thank you
I'm
for
just gonna
like
keep it so real.
yeah, thank you for keeping it real. Because I was gonna go, I don't want to be a dick, but I'm gonna go like 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
But like a solid happy 2 out of 5 that I would gladly watch again with friends.
I will also go along on the 2.5 train because
Yeah,
that was
2.5 with a smile.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. If you're feeling generous and you're ready to just sit back and enjoy, I think this movie does that for you.
Yeah, I want to give you a 2, but god damn it, I like your spirit, kid.
You're gonna be an adult someday.
I mean, the
movie.
guy sat behind the megaphone for 100 friggin' movies, watching somebody else direct the movie, and he's like, someday. So I like the fact that he got
Yeah,
his
he's
shot.
like laying in bed. Man, my movie's gonna fuck so hard. Yeah.
All right. Well, looking forward to doing this again sooner than later, I hope. I don't know what everybody's summer's looking like, but let's jam again.
Like we did last summer.
We're done.
Okay.
Bye.